Last week on the programme, we reflected on it being a year since primary school teachers in St Albans asked parents not to give smartphones to their children. The idea behind it was to try and take that peer pressure element out of phone use. So if nobody had it, nobody would feel like they needed it. So did it work? Well, there was some progress. One head teacher did a local survey of his Year 6 pupils and found the number of them who had their own smartphone dropped from 75% to just 12%. These 11-year-olds go to school in St Albans. Zaran used to have a smartphone. Sarayu has never had one. They told us what it's like.
I used to have a smartphone and I noticed that without it in school, I've been able to concentrate much easier in lessons, and I've realized that in those lessons I've done well without having to concentrate on something else.
I wanted one when I was little. I thought I wanted one when I was 11, but now I don't think that's appropriate because I've heard all of the things that they're capable of. I know there are bad things that could happen, like cyberbullying on online games and social media, and we could also see things that are inappropriate for children our age.
Well, in Finland, legislation has recently been passed to restrict the use of phones during the school day. Here, Kemi Badenoch has called for a ban on smartphones in schools. Sakia Starmer said that was unnecessary when they had a discussion about it back in March. We're joined by Finland's Education Minister, Anders Adlercreutz. Good morning.
Good morning.
What was the reason in Finland to actually put this into law, to take the decision away from parents and schools and to actually legislate?
Well, as the kids in your insert told, I think it's about having the possibility to study at school. I think both young and old recognize that we have a harder time reading a book nowadays than before. We have difficulties concentrating. We are constantly interrupted by the buzz in our pocket. And this, of course, affects the classroom. In Finland, they have restricted the use on a voluntary basis, but as it has not been written into law, the teachers have felt that they don't have the support that they need to be effective restricting the use. So in some schools it has worked very well, in some schools it hasn't. So now we want to create a clear-cut situation where the rules are clear and where both teachers, parents and kids understand what is allowed and what not.
So it gives teachers that backing to feel that they can enforce it. But what would happen if somebody broke that law? Are there penalties?
The phone would be taken away for the rest of the day. In Finland, we are prohibiting the use of mobile phones during the classes unless there is a medical or pedagogical reason. And then it's up to the schools to decide how to treat the breaks in between the classes. And of course, personally, I hope that they will take advantage of the possibility to restrict the use also during the breaks. But here, of course, schools are different. You might apply different rules to kids of different ages.
It can be difficult, and parents of school-aged children will know that so often as well in the school day or perhaps as homework, so much, the phones are so integrated also into school life. Mm-hmm. It can make trying to separate the two quite difficult. Yes,
it might. But I think we have done well at a time when we didn't have mobile phones during the whole day. Of course, amongst older kids in Finland, we have this system at school where they might want to check their mobile phone every once in a while to check their grades or where they should be next. But I think those are practical matters that can be solved through other means.
Do you think this might go even further? As you said, this at the moment is about during the school day, but there are people who would like to see a full ban on the use of mobile phones by children under a certain age.
There is research that indicates that whether if you don't use your phone during the school day, you also use it less outside of the school day. I think that would also be beneficial. Then, of course, I think in many countries there's a discussion about restricting social media use. Many countries have published guidelines on the use of mobile phones in younger age groups. And of course, in Finland, we are also considering this. But the first step is to take them out of our classrooms.
Inevitably, you do get a bit of pushback from students themselves. And they say, can we not be trusted to do this? Must we we be legislated against when it comes to, something which is a key part of our everyday lives? They feel like it's being taken away from them, that choice.
Yeah, well, in Finland, that hasn't really been the response. Actually, this legislation has been very well welcomed by teachers, by parents, but actually also by students. I've had quite a lot of discussions with the students affected, and most see this as a problem, and they welcome clear-cut rules as to what is allowed and not. I think they also feel that they have these challenges. They have difficulties concentrating, and they'd like to have room and space to study.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I know it's one we'll keep coming back to. Thank you for joining us, Anders Adlercreutz, Finland's Education Minister.
Thank you.